Legitimacy assumes that an agreement on the form of government defines a political system.
Many factors encourage legitimacy. Some that encourage it in both democratic and authoritarian regimes are
economic well-being. Citizens often credit their government with economic prosperity, but also blame their government for economic hardships. So economic well-being reinforces political legitimacy.
historic tradition. It is more likely for citizens and other countries to view a government as legitimate if it has been in place for a long time.
Charismatic leadership. Charism is a powerful factor in establishing legitimacy, whether the country is democratic or totalitarian.
Nationalism. Citizens are usually more accepting of the legitimacy of a government if they strongly identify with not only their state but their nation.
Satisfaction with the government's performance. The government is most likely legitimate if the citizens are protected from violence and receive benefits from the government.
To better understand legitimacy, we should look at an analogy. This Holy Cross student's skirt length is viewed by the teacher as an appropriate length. However, when she is going to her next class, the principal sees her and tells her that her skirt is too short. Although her teacher believed the skirt was a fine length, the principal tells the student that the short skirt violates a uniform policy that every student agreed to when they signed the student handbook. The principal's legitimate authority now causes the student to either unroll her skirt or to buy a new one.
Traditional legitimacy rests upon a belief that tradition should determine who rules and how. The right to rule is passed down, often through heredity. Because of this, the next ruler's prerogatives are usually similar to those of the ruler above them. It does not change over time and doesn't facilitate social change. It tends to be irrational and inconsistent and preserves the status quo. This type of legitimacy is usually found in monarchies and tribes. For example, in traditional legitimacy, we do something or follow someone simply because that's what we've always done. Throughout our childhood years, you probably most likely listened to your parents, but in those rare times when you did disagree, you very likely got at least one because I said so. In fact, that's probably the best way to think of traditional forms of legitimacy. It is the ultimate because I said so type of legitimacy.
Queen Elizabeth II is an example of a traditional ruler. She holds legitimate authority because her power is passed down through heredity.
Charismatic authority is in a leader whose vision and mission inspire others. It is based upon the perceived extraordinary characteristics of an individual. A person's authoritative persona charms and physiologically dominates the people of the society to agreement with the government's regime and rule. A leader's charm dominates the people and lulls them into false sense of security. This can lead to politically weak institutions because they derive authority from the persona of the leader. Charismatic legitimacy is found in dictatorships. For example, by the time you got to middle school, chances are that you made some friends that did things your parents may not have approved of, like staying up till 3 a.m. However, you went along with your friends because they were charismatic. Martin Luther King Jr. is an example of charismatic ruler. People followed and listened to him because of his charisma and the motivation he inspired by his speeches. Rational legal legitimacy is based on a system of laws and traditions. It is institutionalized and passed down through many generations of leaders. It is based off the recognition of the rule of law and may take two forms: code law or common law. Common law is based on tradition, past practices, and legal precedents set by the courts through interpretations of statutes. Code law is based off a comprehensive system of the written rules of law divided into the commercial, civil, and criminal codes.
Thanks for watching!